Hey, welcome to We've Been Drinking MMA. We are predicting the fight night for October 7th of Bobby Green versus Grant Dawson. And this is the prelims. First fight, it's Montana De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich. It was a 2 weeks notice replacement for another fighter named Stephanie Egger. So it's going to be Montana De La Rosa at flyweight versus JJ Aldrich. And my pick, this is backhand, my pick is going to be Montana De La Rosa.
And this is Curtis. My pick is going to be Montana as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you think she gets it done, bud?
By wrestling and grappling. She's fought higher level people.
Seriously.
JJ is a journey person that's still in the UFC. Granted, she should be here. She's from Colorado, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
USA person.
Nice.
That's fought lower level and's been losing to that lower level as well.
Yeah.
So I think Montana's facing higher level people, even though she doesn't have the greatest record ever. I think she's gonna out wrestle her, and I think she's gonna get the win.
Absolutely. JJ Aldrich stepping in on a week or 2 weeks notice, and she is 18-12. And then Montana De La Rosa is 12 wins, 8 losses. Sorry, JJ Aldrich was 12-6. So technically Aldrich has the better record on paper, but like Lousy said, like Curtis said, on the caliber of people they fought, right? The losses that Montana De La Rosa had, even though she's had 8 losses, it's like in the last 2 fights, Tatiana Suarez, who's gonna fight for the title very soon and probably take the title. Let's be honest here. Macy Barber, she lost to her. Macy Barber is a top 10 fighter, and then she knocked out Ariane Lipski, who Ariane Lipski, had a decision win 2 fights ago over the opponent JJ Aldrich here. So, that type of thing where Montana De La Rosa can beat the people that beat JJ Aldrich. And it's because of what Curtis said, is that Montana De La Rosa has phenomenal wrestling, grappling. She did lose to Tatiana Suarez because of the grappling, but because Tatiana's a specialist. But, if you look at it, JJ Aldrich, she did win her last fight against Liang Na with a TKO, but that was because Liang Na tried to go for some takedown but had 0 top control, and then JJ Aldrich just reversed it and then just ground and pounded her. It was very easy. You can tell Liang Na is just not on a good level for the UFC caliber, and so it was a very easy win for JJ. But before that, she had a decision loss to Ariane Lipski, and then she got submitted in the second round by Erin Blanchfield. So,
future champ.
Yeah. And so, the caliber of opponents is what we're talking about. I think Montana De La Rosa has phenomenal ground and pound. For flyweight, she does damage on the ground. She's got elbows, punches. She's got, aggressiveness. She's got actually a very slick, just classic wrestling double leg takedown. Great duck under your punch, take both your legs from under you, and slide into it, right into you, and then take your legs from under you. It's really, really good. I would say that it reminds me of Chris Weidman when Weidman was doing really good against in the middleweight division in the UFC, and he was champion. De La Rosa has really, really good wrestling takedowns. So JJ Aldrich, as we said, got taken down in her last fight by Liang Nu, and if it wasn't for Liang Nu not having any top control, JJ Aldrich would have been in some major danger there. So
when it comes to boxing with Montana, I think what I like about her boxing is she strikes first. She's not waiting. She's just going with her box striking, and then she's setting up her wrestling.
Right.
So that's why she's her pressure with her striking.
JJ likes to actually, she kind of is not very active, I would say.
with her striking anyway.
Yes, with the striking.
Yes.
So if you're going to give, let's say, JJ the advantage in striking, you I don't know if you can, because she's not active enough with her strikes. And in general, she doesn't punch with that much power.
Yep. Yeah. JJ's grappling is probably on par with Montana's, but I think Montana's grappling and wrestling.
Good top control. She can mount
with her pressure, and I think she's just going to control this fight. I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
for who's going to win this fight.
We don't have the odds yet because the UFC has not officially announced this fight, even though it's going to happen. And so we don't have the odds yet. But we're assuming, obviously, Montana De La Rosa will be a small favorite. Either way, we're thinking Montana De La Rosa, she's going to get, like Lousy said, the punches to the takedowns, and it's the top control, the elbows, the ground and pound is going to be too much for J.J. Aldrich. So we don't know how it's going to get it done, but I'm picking Montana De La Rosa just in general. I'm money line, better straight up. This is We've Been Drinking MMA. This is the second fight on the prelims for Fight Night. Bobby Green versus, what's his name?
Grant Dawson.
Grant Dawson. All right. So this is backhand. My pick is going to be Matias Mendonca.
I'm going Mendonca as well. And once I know the props for this fight, I'm probably going to go Mendonca by KO as well.
Yeah, so I forgot to say, sorry, the matchup is Matias Mendonca versus Nate Maness at 125 pounds. We're both going with Mendonca, Matias Mendonca. He's 24 years old, and Maness is 32. And you know, the thing is
go ahead.
No, I was going to say just the records. Matias Mendonca only has one loss. He's 10-1, and Nate Maness is 14-3.
Nothing about Maness's fight IQ or fight style is technical.
Right.
In my opinion. He's just a lower level type fighter.
Yeah.
He's still in the UFC, so anything might happen, but nothing about his fight style is high IQ or
bad decision maker.
Like he's not setting up anything. Like he's just going in there to fight. So I'm going with Mendonca because he has crisper strikes and he throws with some like intention. Yeah. To hurt.
And he doesn't just walk into punches. Nate Maness is literally walking into punches. Yeah. Like legitimately.
Looping, striking. Right. Like Mendonca is going to see those punches coming.
Maness almost looks, I mean, I don't like to talk trash, and maybe this is some kind of trash talking, but
yeah,
Nate,
you do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we all like it. We've been drinking MMA. Yeah. We have to talk a little bit, right? But Nate Maness literally looks like he's doing a different sport sometimes. like
he doesn't know he's fighting.
Yeah, like he's doing like synchronized dancing or some shit, and he's just walking around, like moving to the left for no reason, and then he gets clocked. I mean, honestly,
I don't know what he's doing in there.
Have you ever seen a fighter like him? Quite like him.
Not like that.
And that's in the most negative sense ever. Is what we're meaning it by. Like, I'm sorry if there's any Nate Maness fans, but like
in our opinion, I don't think there's there's always a way that people can lose, but like Mendonca is probably a lock.
It's that type of even though he's Mendonca is minus $250 to make 100, but the way we're talking about him, the way we believe he's gonna wipe the floor with Maness is basically that it feels like it's more like 6-1, 5-1 type stuff, 500 to make 100. So
get your money in early.
Yes, this is one of those fights that will go up and up and up. Like it'll be so expensive by Friday.
Yeah,
probably.
So that's our pick, Mendonca, and I'm gonna look at the Mendonca by KO when it comes on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure, but one of those days, look at the money, and if it's a better money than what you're thinking, go for it.
Yeah, but we're high on Mendonca for this style matchup for sure. Matias Mendonca is our pick.
Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you. We've Been Drinking MMA. We are talking about the Vanessa Demopoulos versus Kanato Murato fight. My pick is Kanato Murato.
Yep, and this is backhand, and my pick is also Murato.
The reason I'm picking Murato, she is stupid strong for this weight division. Yeah. Whatever she ragdolls people as far as like wrestling.
Former Invicta champion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying something. That was basically the women's UFC before UFC.
Before the UFC started, like the Invicta was the way to go.
That was the tier. That was UFC for women. Yeah.
Like she's just a better fighter than Demopoulos as far as like just fighting. I think in general. Maybe I'm wrong about this. What do you think about that backhand?
She's so fast, isn't she? She's like
in out.
Like I just in general. I mean, this fight is taking place at strawweight, 115, and it's one of those fights where Vanessa Demopoulos she will exchange. However, she's not that fast. That's a problem for her in this matchup. So yeah, I mean, it's like it's fast versus slow, and then you got Murata, who is just her leg kicks are really fast, I would say.
Yep.
And Demopoulos, she loads up a little bit on the leg kicks. It's just kind of easy to see coming. So if it's a leg kick battle, Murata wins, right? If it's a punching battle, Murata can punch and then get out of the way. And then on top of that, Demopoulos doesn't have much power. That's why, she really has a lot of decisions.
She leaves herself open with the.
She gets hit a lot, doesn't she?
As far as like she goes all out with her striking.
Demopoulos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She leaves herself open.
She's not punching and then hitting and moving at all.
Yeah.
She likes to kind of stay in that pocket,
She
here and
stays
there.
in the pocket.
Overall, she has a good distance, but then when she gets into exchange, she doesn't just throw a smart punch and move. She kind of stays in there for a combo, and that can be detrimental against an experienced champion like Murata.
That's correct.
But the one thing is that you were saying is that in Murata's last fight, she lost by TKO doctor stoppage because her arm was broken, her elbow.
Her elbow dislocation
Yeah.
versus Verna. Her
Janda-
last fight.
Yeah, Jandiroba, yeah.
Yeah, Jandiroba.
Who's number 13 in the world, by the way. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, the doctor stopped that fight in general, and like I'm kind of leery on not putting any money on this fight because I don't know if she's rushing into another fight or if that arm is actually like 100% or anything like that.
Right, Murata's minus 370, which is a hefty favorite.
That's a big price.
$370 to make
I think
100.
she's a better fighter like that, but
Right.
I don't want to put any money on this.
It's like this is the one fight where you would want to maybe see around and see is
live
Murata's what was it, her left arm or
I think it was
the left arm was just hanging on for a whole round, hanging down there
by the waist.
It was completely broken, just dead arm,
Yeah,
just floating around, and
she was like arm across her waist.
Wow,
that's how she was fighting. Like, you ever seen that movie Warrior?
Yes, with Tom Hardy.
That's what he was doing in that fight.
Yeah, I remember that scene. That was cool.
That very last scene where his arm was across his hip like that.
His
that's
brother,
what Kanako was.
And then his brother broke his arm, right, or something, or he didn't tap or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, just before the end of the second round or something.
That's
in
right.
that movie. Yeah.
That's right. So and Murata, just like Lousy just said, Curtis just said, Murata is what did you say? Like she's like a warrior, right?
Oh, she's from. That's what the movie was.
She's got the code, man. She's from Japan, man. They're like samurai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but you don't know if she's actually Russian and it's not 100%.
You don't know. You don't know because that fight, it did happen 2 years ago. However, you don't know if she is kind of looking at it like, okay, that was whatever. I can still win with leg kicks. Sometimes the champion thinks that she can win with being 70%.
Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. Even though the arms may never heal correctly. You never know.
Right. That's true. Yeah, so we're going with Murata, but we do know that she was coming off a elbow break, and her arm was hanging down, in for a whole round before they stopped it against Jandiroba, who's ranked number 13. So Murata had a good performance overall against the number 13 Jandiroba, and she beat Randa Marcos, who is a person who had a win over Angela Hill, who just had a main event in the last couple months. So, Randa Marcos is a quality win. And we know that, Demopoulos, she is, her record is, she's 9-5. In the UFC, though, it's 2-3. But her wins are against people who aren't as quality opponents. Got women who have only had one win and things like that. So, overall, Murata's the pick. We're just a little bit leery, and we want to see maybe how she's performing in that first round to make sure that elbow's okay and that it doesn't, re-break or anything.
I would live bet it if you are going to put money on this, but I would suggest not putting any money on it.
Right.
Like, subscribe, comment. We want more people to hear this, so please do.
For the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you. This is We've Been Drinking MMA. This is the fourth fight on the prelims of the UFC Fight Night. Bobby Green, Grant Dawson. This is Aori Qilang from China as that bantamweight, 135 pounds, versus Johnny Munoz. And this is back end. My pick is Aori Qilang.
This is Lousy. My pick is Johnny Munoz. But I'm going with backhands prop bet. I think it's going to go the distance as well.
I'm thinking, man, Munoz backs away so fast. He's so great at evading the one big weapon that Aori Qilang has, which is the leg kick.
Yes.
So it's like Aori Keeling has these super fast leg kicks, but Munoz backs away from the leg kicks super well. Like that's like his one of his talents.
His striking defense.
His specifically striking defense, specifically the leg kick defense is like amazing. Very fast at getting away from it. So I feel like distance is actually the bet that I'm gonna do, that I'm really focused on, because it's a 50-50 fight. Minus 110 for each fighter, 110 to make 100. It's literally dead even on the bookmaker's eyes for good reason. Like I just said, one of them's a leg kicker and the other guy's phenomenal at getting away from leg kicks. On top of that, Munoz got the grappling. Aori Keeling showed that he can get up, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be so easy to get away. Munoz can hold him against the fence. There's a lot of things that can
His
happen.
pace with Munoz.
Munoz is a good mover.
Yeah.
He's just a good mover. He punches on the run. There's a lot of things that can pose problems. When you have a guy punching on the run, it's not the same thing when somebody's standing in the pocket with you. And Aori Keeling, he is a good athlete, but he's not nearly as fast as a mover.
That means he's taking angles after
Munoz.
he strikes you. He's taking angles like he goes off to the side.
Yeah, he's a talented puncher, Aori Keeling as well, but Munoz is just fast.
Yeah.
He's just fast. So how are you going to time a fast guy?
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard matchup for, honestly, Munoz in the matchup style. Look, he evades the leg kicks. He can put the fight where he wants it. We take you to the fence, take you to the ground, punch on the run. He's more dynamic, faster. So Munoz has a style matchup to beat Aori Keeling, no doubt. But then Aori Keeling is just a talented guy who can get up off the ground and has good strikes overall, super fast leg kicks. But like we said, Munoz can evade him. So that's why I'm thinking distance is what I want to probably bet.
Yeah, distance is probably more than the actual person here.
All 3 rounds.
Keeling he can get, if he does get taken down, he can get up.
Yeah.
Munoz does not have the best striking in the world, so Munoz is not going to knock him out, and he's not going to keep him down. So.
Yeah, and it's like, for me, I think they're both good athletes. Straight up, like, they just belong in the UFC. They're good athletes. You know, the way they move, their balance, it's just good quality athletes. The thing is that I feel like Aori Keeling doesn't get controlled that easily on the ground. Like he knows how to kind of, get that balance, center his balance, and then get up. And he's very calm under pressure, which is what I really like about Aori Keeling. No panic, and he gets up well. He gets up, whether it's against the fence, he doesn't get stuck anywhere. And I feel like Munoz, like we said, has got good distance overall, backs away quickly, really good athlete. And, I just think that leg kick for leg kick, it's going to be hard to leg kick Aori Keeling faster than Aori Keeling, because Aori Keeling has super fast leg kicks.
That's what he's known for.
That's what he's known for, man. So, and I also feel like even though there is maybe a question mark, can Johnny Munoz hold him down? But I don't think Munoz's top control is that great. I
don't think his game is actually set up for him just to hold people down.
He's trying to sub.
He's trying to sub.
He's trying to be active with subs. He's not trying to just lay and pray. So because of that, he's constantly trying to move all the time. And Aori Keeling is very calm, so it's going to be very interesting. I guess you could say the grappling exchanges is what we're kind of interested in here.
Yeah.
Because the kicks,
wrestling, grappling here.
Like we said, they're going to be kind of like stalemated with the striking.
On the striking, yeah.
It's going to be just kind of like backing away from the kicks, and we'll see what happens. But the grappling will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Be very interesting for a live bet opportunity too. Depending on how Munoz matches up, does he have all those style matchup advantages?
Is he setting the pace?
Yeah. If he's doing that and Aori Keeling is having problems timing him with the counter punches, maybe Munoz can make it dirty and really go for subs against the fence. Hold him against the fence. I'm sorry, do things like this.
Like Keeling is not having the leg reach, like keeping him at bay.
Yeah,
Munoz doesn't close that gap, it's gonna be a problem.
Munoz has a 2-inch reach advantage too. So, it's going to be an interesting fight as far as the style matchup. We'll see how it gets neutralized, and it's going to be very interesting from a chess match point of view.
Yeah, so going the distance.
Going the distance is what I'm thinking. But, Curtis had Munoz, and I had Aori Keeling, but ultimately we both do agree that distance is definitely happening.
I'm not betting the person. I'm betting what the fight's actually going to do, so I'm going the distance.
Absolutely. Hey, please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. This is the 5th fight on the prelims of the UFC Fight Night. Bobby Green versus Grant Dawson. This is Chris Gutierrez at bantamweight, 135 pounds, versus Montel Jackson. And my pick is back end. My pick is going to be Montel Jackson.
My pick is going to be Montel Jackson as well, but I have no confidence in who to pick on this one. I'm just going by Montel Jackson's throwing intention. So that's why I'm going. Chris Gutierrez is a ranked fighter.
Yeah, number 13.
He's actually a really good technical striker.
Yeah.
He has a lot of those feinting feints and twists with his hips to make it look like he's kicking type stuff. As far as like
talent,
kicking and striking, he does a lot of like flare type striking, like, as far as like spinning and like he does a lot of that stuff. Montel Jackson is not that type of guy.
No, yeah, exactly. I would say Montel is very by the book, textbook. He's textbook.
He's a defensive striker, but he throws with some like heat.
He can throw with some heat. I mean, his overhands are powerful when he wants to be. I just think that he's figured out a recipe for success, and that's got him to 13 wins and 2 losses. So not bad. The defensive style is working for him. But if someone wants to come and be aggressive, he doesn't just need to back away. He can go ahead and throw a check hook, a check punch that can hurt you.
He can stand in the phone booth too.
Yeah. Exactly. When he wants to be aggressive and he feels like he has you hurt, he does have killer instinct. And he will step in and throw something with intention, with power, and with some speed on the punch. So Montel Jackson is 13-2, and he's the favorite. He's minus $200.
He's not even ranked yet.
He's not even ranked yet. He's $200 to make 100 against number 13 in the world, Chris Gutierrez, who is, in fact, coming off a loss against a guy who's like top 8, Pedro Munoz.
Yeah.
You know, who's fought against former champions and knocked out former champions like Cody Garbrandt, right? So,
but like, do you think Montel Jackson sets a pace, like goes forward, like keeps coming? Is that him? Because I could say Pedro Munoz is.
Munoz does.
Yeah, Montel, I don't know if he does that.
No. The way I look at it is this, and this is why I'm going with Montel, and I'm confident in Montel in this fight. I'm not super confident because Chris Gutierrez is ranked. You know, it's like to bet against a ranked fighter, and you have to pay $200 to make 100 on an unranked fighter. It's not the greatest deal. However, the way I see this fight is Chris Gutierrez stands too close, and is there to be kicked on his legs and on his body, and also there to be punched. Proof is how he threw a leg kick, and Munoz just countered it with a big overhand and knocked out Gutierrez, and Gutierrez is the longer rangier fighter.
Yeah.
And Munoz was just able to knock him down in the first. And that's why it happens, because Gutierrez stands too close. Montel keeps really good distance. This is huge also. Montel Jackson has a 75.5-inch reach advantage, 8.5 reach advantage, 8.5-inch reach advantage over Gutierrez.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
75.5 is what his reach is, and he has 8.5 inches more than what Gutierrez has.
At 67-inch for Gutierrez.
Yes.
This is ridiculous because if basically the thing about it is Gutierrez does not throw enough punches. That's his problem. He likes to be flashy, like Curtis said, and he likes to do some like spinning elbows, spinning back fists. Against a guy like Montel who keeps really good distance, Montel's not going to be there to be hit by a spinning back fist. Montel never overcommits. Yeah. Montel is very smart and defensive, and when you come in, like Gutierrez sometimes does by standing too close, then Montel will throw a kick back up, throw a check punch back up, check you with a punch. So Montel is going to be landing with punches and kicks, and Gutierrez is only going to have kicks. Problem is that Jackson is good at backing up, and Gutierrez might not even land those kicks.
With that reach in general, do you think
8 inches.
he could get some takedowns because of that reach? Like he could grab the guy and take him down because he has a bigger
that's
reach.
Another great point, man. Montel Jackson, he's smart. Like we're saying, he's 13-2 for a reason. He will, at the end of rounds, he will literally use that reach, use that defensiveness to, throw something and then rush you against the cage and hold you against the cage just to make sure he wins at the end of the rounds. So he's a winner. He knows how to win, and in the judges' eyes, if it's a close round and then Montel just goes ahead and holds you against the cage for like 20, 30 seconds at the end, he's going to clinch these rounds. Gutierrez doesn't have that mindset. Gutierrez has a kill or be killed type of mindset. He wants to go ahead and throw kicks with, heavy power. He wants to throw spinning back fists that could shut your lights out. That's Gutierrez in a nutshell. And then you have Montel Jackson, who's a defensive fighter who punches and gets away, lets you walks into punches. You know what I mean? Like has a smart punch selection. Will never overcommit and put his head in harm's way.
His IQ. His fight IQ, yes.
His IQ is there. And I also think, though, Montel Jackson Gutierrez has to run into a punch, and Gutierrez, I think, is too good for that because he's number 13 in the world. He did get knocked down by Munoz, but again, that was because he threw a leg kick, and Munoz just freaking rushed with a big overhand and looping punch over the top, and it just landed perfectly. But other than that, Chris Gutierrez is fast. right? Overall pretty fast
Yes,
and twitchy.
it's technical.
Technical. He's doing the different feints. He's always, moving forward, moving back. It's hard to read his movements.
He's setting up.
Yeah, it's not easy. Montel's a textbook fighter, so to finish somebody like Gutierrez would be a hell of a feat. And with 8-inch reaches, it could happen. I'm not saying it won't. But what I'm saying is that I just believe that Gutierrez is good enough with the power of his leg kicks, with the head movement, the slickness, the quickness, the feints, to keep Montel Jackson at least away from getting a big knockout blow. Also, Montel doesn't really take you down to do ground and pounding. Like I said, he cage holds you. He likes to stall against the cage. So I believe it's going to be Montel Jackson by decision. I think another safe bet is just that this fight goes the distance. If you don't have a pick, going the distance it might be a better price because Montel Jackson is so expensive in this fight. So I don't know, man. I feel like Montel Jackson's got the, like you said, the IQ, the reach advantage, the punches and kicks versus Gutierrez just has the kicks. Of course, Gutierrez is a ranked fighter, so I understand how some people would want to pick Gutierrez, no doubt. But distance is a great bet for either guy. Gutierrez is going to be so hard to do any damage to a guy who has an 8-inch reach advantage and who's defensive. And Jackson really just goes for check punches for the knockouts. I don't know. I'm thinking distance, but Montel is a pick, minus 200. Not a horrible price, but Montel Jackson decision, I'm hoping it'll be like plus money.
That's going to be plus money for sure. Montel Jackson for the win. Like, subscribe, comment.
This we've been drinking MMA. This is the prelim main event. Karolina Kowalkiewicz at straw weight, 115 pounds, versus Diana Belbita. And, of course, this is the UFC Fight Night. Bobby Green, Grant Dawson, Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Diana Belbita. My pick, this is back end, is Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
This is lousy. My pick is Carolina as well. Carolina has a very extensive fight list as far as her experience goes. She has a pace to her. Very calm, very collected. Keep coming forward. I'm going to take you down, and if you do, I'm going to try to get your neck. That's her fighting style, and she's fighting a hands up, chin down kickboxer who doesn't really have a list as far as fighting goes.
Right.
I think this is a landslide victory for Carolina.
And the price is, I think, phenomenal, in our opinion. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is minus 155, $155 to make 100. And she's fought for the title, went all 5 rounds in that title fight versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who is the best 115-pound fighter ever. Yeah. She's got like 6 title defenses.
She's in the Hall of Fame.
She's in the Hall of Fame for sure. And Kowalkiewicz went all 5 rounds with her. Kowalkiewicz, really her losses, she went through a losing streak, but it was all ranked fighters and like people like Jessica Andrade, former champions who have, former champions. So other than that, she's on a 3-fight win streak, right? And then
it would be one thing if she was fighting a top 3 fighter for Carolina, but she's not.
No,
Diana Belbita is not a top 3 fighter. So I think Carolina's going to have no problem fighting this woman.
I think they have this wrong because both these fighters are 15-7, their records. However, Karolina Kowalkiewicz has been in the UFC for like 7 years and has fought like almost like 15, 16 fights in the UFC.
The who's who.
The who's who and the who's who. And she's only lost to champions and former champions and ranked fighters, right? And another loss would be Jessica Penne, who was made the semifinals of the Ultimate Fighter and lost to the eventual champion of the division, Carla Esparza, so who eventually lost to Jędrzejczyk and who beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz by decision. So, Kowalkiewicz is a top fighter, and on a 3-fight win streak. Now, Diana Belbita, I believe this is a mismatch, in my opinion, because and Karolina Kowalkiewicz is a huge steal because Diana Belbita has been in the UFC. She's 2-3 in the UFC, and this is the problem with her. Is she has 3 losses and 2 wins. Her 2 wins, right? She beat Hannah Goldie, who is 1-4 in the UFC, 1-3, and then Mara Oliveira, that's her second win, and she's 1-3. So both these fighters have horrible records in the UFC. And those are her 2 wins. Now, her 3 losses in the UFC are against Liana Jojuja, which was she lost in 2 minutes in the first round by submission, and Liana Jojuja, her only win is Diana Belbita. She's 1-3 in the UFC. So, even her loss, is against losing fighters, right? Then she lost to Gloria DePaula, who went 2-3 in the UFC and got released by the UFC, and she lost her latest fight, so she's actually 2-4 in her last 6. And then she lost, to a good fighter, Molly McCann. But it just goes to show you the people that she's lost to are not good. They have losing records. And the people that she's beaten only have 1 win and 3 losses and 1 win and 4 losses. So it's just tears right here. Overall, Karolina Kowalkiewicz has the better distance control. She's got the better shot selection. She is better athlete as far as her balance and footwork, I would say.
Yeah, this is like a talent level tier, like easy decision.
And I know you mentioned we were talking about this. Belbita kind of chin down and just goes forward and just throws punches kind of sloppily.
But it's predictable.
Predictable.
It's slow and predictable, her hands, but her kicks is why she's in there.
She doesn't throw with enough power, and she's also being sloppy, and she doesn't punch and back away. She just punches and just goes forward. So it's kind of like she's asking to get hit. And
especially with Carolina going forward.
Yeah.
And she's with her Belbita's predictability with her hands, you can see them coming. So she's going to know what to do.
And like you said, Diana Belbita doesn't get out of the way after she punches, so she's really easy to get taken down. In fact, even in her last win versus Mara Oliveira, she basically just got hit a lot, and she got taken down in all the rounds. Even though she got back up, she got taken down in all the rounds. What do you think someone like Karolina Kowalkiewicz is going to do? Easily can punch, get away, leg kick, take you down, do whatever she wants, basically, to Diana Belbita. I understand the odds makers are keeping this close because they're both 15-7, but it's a complete different quality of fighters that Kowalkiewicz has lost to versus Belbita. So, the pick is easily Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I love this price of -155. And, again, this is backhand. My pick is Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
I'm picking Carolina. I'm going to put her in all my parlays. Easy decision for me. So, like, subscribe, comment.
Appreciate you guys for the algorithm, YouTube algorithm. Thank you.